This episode of Taproom Travelers is brought to you by Lazy Monk Brewery.
Name's Giotto Troia. Well, I fell in love with beer pretty much as a kid. My parents and I grew up, stone's throw away from Capitol Brewery in Middleton. And my dad would go there all the time. He'd bring me. And I really grew an appreciation for craft beer. Throughout college, Henry, my business partner, and we were home brewing. And, throughout the years, really gained an appreciation for the art and the craft of it as well. After college, I started working for Capitol Brewery as a bartender, a side job. And eventually we decided to take MobCraft Pro and become a commercial brewery. And we gained so much respect for the art and the craft of it that the brewing and the knowledge of it just comes easy now. So what makes us different from another brewery is really our business model. We're crowdsourced. We basically allow people like you to submit beer ideas to us, and we'll put them on our website. And throughout a monthly voting process, which spans from the 1st of the month through the 21st, we allow you to vote or pre-order what beer you want us to make. And usually there's 20 to 25 different choices on there. So a really good range of different styles of beers, from pale ales to pilsners to barrel-aged Russian Imperial stouts. So after that 21-day voting period, we brew the beer with the most votes. Another side of that is that we can actually ship the beer directly to your doorstep in 40 states, which other breweries in the country can't do. So we really try to bring the customer into every aspect of it. We do a lot of collaborations as well with other breweries, liquor stores, stuff like that, that really do make us unique. I guess the crowdsourcing really brings a sense of community and sort of creates a direct emotional connection with the consumer. They have the ability to have a real say in what we produce. Yeah, we could brew, an IPA like every other brewery all day, every day, forever and ever, and it would sell, but we don't want to have to compete on volume with other breweries. We want to be able to actually have that connection with the consumer. We're their brewery. Basically, it's their home brewing on a much bigger level, and we're letting somebody's recipe get famous and distributed nationwide. It's a direct emotional connection, a sense of ownership in the company. People submit really interesting beers that they've never had before. So we just actually produced a beer called Don Durio's Filthy Mustachio, and it is a durian and cashew pale pilsner. And durian has actually never, previous to us doing it, it was never bottled in the United States. No durian beer had ever been packaged. That was one that I Wikipedia durian because I had no idea what it was, and I was like, we can't possibly make a beer out of this, can we? This is the worst smelling fruit in the entire world. How can we make a beer out of it and still have people buy it and enjoy it? And when it came down to that sort of stuff, Andrew, our brewmaster, said, yeah, we can totally do it. Let's do it. Blah 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 blah. And he just walks away and starts coming up with ideas for it. And so even if something were to come through like a bark dirt pilsner, I'm sure he can make it taste good. That's how much confidence we have in this guy. He's a great sort of alchemist. I don't know, he just makes stuff. So.
Name is Andrew Gierzak, and title, I guess, is head alchemist / brewer / brewery operations and all that fun stuff. So my background is in microbiology. I got my teeth cut at an ethanol plant. So that's kind of was my first taste of industrial fermentation. And then I ended up working for a large brewer out in Milwaukee for about a year. And then came over here and started brewing here. I love to cook, and the way I look at it, coming up with recipe formulation, especially with weird or strange ingredients, I look at it just like if I'm cooking a dish. And that's kind of my approach is, and especially with these weird ingredients that I may not necessarily be used to, my strategy is add as little as possible and just keep adding it until the flavor tastes right. Because I may not always have the luxury of being able to do a test batch ahead of time, and if I can't, or if it's something that I'm vaguely familiar with, I'll just add it little by little until I get to a nice flavor profile. if there's one thing that I'm seeing personally from like the craft beer industry as a whole is that it's not petering out, it's only getting stronger.
Collaboration with other breweries is probably, it's one way to get your beer into other markets that you wouldn't normally be in. So recently we did a collaboration with Badger State Brewery up in Green Bay in order to create our double check, we called it. But yeah, we're collaborating obviously with liquor stores as well. So that beer that we had, Petrichor, that was a collaboration because they just had barrels lying around that they had done barrel buys with, and they wanted to do something with the barrels. So we just aged beer in it and sold a lot of it to them, but also to the market abroad. Liquor stores were pretty welcoming of having somebody else's liquor store's beer in their liquor store. I mean, if it's a good beer, it's a good beer. And it's just overall, it's building the beer community. Right now, our shipping model to 40 states is sort of like a revenue-generating marketing plan, so to speak. So we're basically getting some presence in local markets, whether it's Baltimore, Maryland, or Asheville, North Carolina, Texas, California, Florida. And as we develop those sorts of markets down there, the marketing plan is to approach those markets and those distributors down there and say, hey, clearly there's a demand for it. This way we're sort of able to chickenpox, I like to call it chickenpox, across the country and sort of develop several regions where we can grow organically out of, as opposed to just growing organically out of Madison, Wisconsin.
On any given day, I'm thinking about one of two things. I'm thinking about either food or I'm thinking about beer. And so for me, when somebody suggests an idea, it's really easy for me to get excited about it. And when I get excited about it, that's kind of that's what kickstarts my creative process. Because I think, oh, well, if this were a food, what would I do? And you know, some people say, I want this X food item, but in beer form. Or I want this, some people have suggested cocktails. For me, it's really easy to get excited about it. And that's kind of what kickstarts my creative process. Because I love cooking. I love brewing. The two are basically synonymous. They're the exact same process, just slightly different. I think with a proper style, I think you can add just about anything to beer and it'll taste awesome.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you want to get involved in MobCraft, definitely check us out online at mobcraftbeer.com. Social media, everything's at mobcraftbeer or facebook.com/mobcraftbeer, all that stuff. Become a fan, get involved. If you want to have beer shipped to your house, we can do that too. From the 1st to the 21st of every month, you can pre-order a 4-pack to get it shipped to your house in 40 states, or you can pick it up at the Taproom here in Madison, or where our new Taproom is going to be. Definitely get involved. It's a great thing to do. Definitely some of the most unique beer that you're ever going to try.
Hi! If you like what we do here, you can click up above where we have t-shirts and other merchandise for sale. You can also show your support by subscribing or liking the video. You can also click down there where we have our next episode. I'm going to shut up right now for a word from my sponsors.
Lazy Monk is a popular brewery located in downtown Eau Claire, Wisconsin. The family-owned brewery has fantastic beer, and their taproom's atmosphere is something to experience firsthand. We hope to see you there. Lazy Monk, a family brewery.